Right. Just finished up a TikTok live talking about my Mormon arranged marriage. And I just wanted to break it down in a quick video because I've talked about this a lot. I did not fall in love with a man and marry him. I did not develop an amazing relationship with somebody that I wanted to spend my life with. And we decide together that that's what we wanted to do. When I was a 19-year-old girl, I was waiting tables at the Olive Garden, and a member of our stake, who I respected as a priesthood leader that I thought had authority for God. I mean, I really respected this guy. I looked up to him so much as a teenager. He came and sat down at my table at the Olive Garden, and while I was grating Romano cheese over his pasta pomodoro, he was on date night with his wife on Friday night. While I was grating cheese over his pasta, he told me that the Holy Ghost was speaking to him. He literally said, "The Holy Ghost is telling me that I need to set you up with my return missionary friend." He bore his testimony so strongly to me that he thought that I was supposed to marry this guy who had just come home from his mission that was his friend, that by the end of the meal, I wrote my phone number on his receipt and handed it to him. I said, "I'm already engaged to somebody else. I'm engaged to somebody else. But if the Holy Ghost is arranging a marriage, here's my number, have him call me." He went home that night, calls Jake, says, "I just met your future wife. The Holy Ghost told me that I just met your wife." Fast forward to, he calls me, we go on a couple dates. On our second date, he goes up my bra and decides that he wants to go confess to the bishop for touching my boob. So after our second date, I find myself sitting in the bishop's office with this guy that I don't even know. And the bishop says, "The Holy Ghost is telling me that you guys were foreordained in your pre-existent past life to be husband and wife." So we do our confessing and we go over to the couple's house that had set us up. And again, Josh pulls me aside and he says, "I want you to know that I don't just think that you guys would have a fun date or that like you'd have a good time together. Jenny, the Holy Ghost told me that Jake is your husband. You guys are supposed to get married." The bishop asked us to fast and pray. So 10 days after we met, we went to church fasting and praying. Jake had the confirmation of the Holy Ghost. We went on 10 dates. Our 11th date was our eternal marriage in the Portland, Oregon temple, which meant that I had to call my fiance and tell him goodbye. I did not even know what his middle name was when we went to fill out the stuff for the marriage certificate, marriage license. When he asked for my hand in marriage 11 days after our first date, my dad said, "Okay, well, can I just ask you one question? What's your name, dude?" 24 years of domestic violence because I was sealed for all of eternity to a man that the Holy Ghost told me I had to marry.